door for us for game number 1.
Okay, into the pick and bans. Furia on the blue side. Bans already through. And despite the sort of Enchantress support nerfs, we're still seeing Yuumi and Melio banned away.
Yeah, and that's honestly surprising to me to see that much attention focused into it. I think just teams just don't even want to deal with that. I think just on the off chance that, okay, maybe it isn't quite as weak as we thought. But Jace locked in here. You see that you saw the stat flash across your screen. I think that's partially why you said the wow that you did. 4 picks of Jace so far, BR Jace, 0 wins.
Yeah, and neither Envy or Dinkedo have picked it so far. I mean, they can play it, but generally I think of it more as an Envy pick. It surprises me, though, as an R1 pickup. Like, why are we prioritizing this solo lane so quickly here? If anything, I was expecting Aphelios, because Titans played only Aphelios so far this split. It's on the table. I would have thought the teams either want to pick it for themselves if you're Titan, or if you're paiN, maybe just deny it away.
And then you see the Kha'Zix covered there. We'll be surprised if Aegis locks into that. Kha'Zix, again, is one of those champions that in 13-12, which we're on right now, got nerfed. His base AD down by 3. Xayah Rakan picked up for Titan and Frosty. I like it.
Ooh, that's a new look in the bot lane, and we did touch on the fact that engage supports were indirectly buffed a little bit by the Enchanter nerfs. Rakan being one of the engage supports we're already seeing quite frequently before this, so I like the look from Red. It's very reminiscent of last split, actually, with the team fight solid pickup that they already have. paiN Gaming, I'm still expecting the Aphelios pickup here, but they're showing their solo lanes already. Kennen in the top for Weiser, great pickup. Jace for Dinkedo, and this does mean that their bot lane, I fully expect to see it pinch, specifically the AD carry role.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just been Xayah that has been taken away, right? I mean, in the bot lane has been banned away, but as far as just straight up bans, we haven't seen that. And RMC bring a good point. paiN showing their cards in the solo lanes immediately. I guess the only thing is, look, I suppose you could flex the Kennen into the mid lane, but I'd be surprised if that was the case, right? Jace is an obvious flex, but Kennen has been much more in the top lane. But now, yeah, do you pinch the, I mean, yeah, if you're on red side, or on, if you are red on the blue side, hello, gosh. Yeah, you start pinching the bottom lane, and they taken away the Varus immediately here. Annie and Malphite taken away as counters to those solo lanes that they showed.
Now, I did not have Varus on my bingo cards as one of the AD carries who's moving up on this patch, and to me that makes me question a lot about what happened in scrims during this week 4v4. What changed? Like, when did Varus go up so highly in priority? Don't get me wrong, I think it is a solid pickup for the team, especially with the team fighting that we're already seeing from both these teams, Sejuani, Kennen, on the side of paiN Gaming. But, I mean, Jinx is still on the table. Okay, so maybe paiN has been indexing on the early game a little bit with the Varus and the Lucian. Lucian did get changed up as well. It does a lot better than Gage supports right now.
Yeah, it's not quite as Enchanter heavy, right? It's not just if you get a shield, you get these buffs. It's about immobilizations and whatnot, so it will be the Lucian here. And look, you still could go Nami, I guess, right? I mean, like, it's not like Lucian is bad with Enchanters, but it's just opened his laning partner options more. Let's see here. This draft has not shaken out at all how I thought. If anything, as far as like, oh, Jace in the mid lane, Kennen in the top lane, that's a draft I thought I would see for Red, because that is the reputation that their solo laners have. Exactly.
And Red, on the other hand, have gone completely standard. We're seeing still the Ahri pickup, because of course Annie being banned. Ahri feels like that, tier or second tier mid that everybody's been going for. And Cassante in the top lane, if they do lock this in for FNB, they've got strong team fighting early, but they recognize that, hey, with the Sejuani, with the Kennen, maybe we don't actually want to all in on the team fight. There's no guarantee we win this. We want a little bit more agency, and more importantly, we need a bridge into that mid to late game, especially when you see that Lucian bot lane. Anytime you see Lucian, you're on a timer, which favors you if you're playing against Lucian. If you can survive the early game, Lucian will fall off compared to things like the Xayah.
Well, there you go.
Sure enough, 4v4, you called it. Lucian, Nami, still same old, same old. I had some questions about ProDota, because back in Academy in 2022 Split 2, when he last played, Nami was his most played 4 times. But he also played a lot of Leona and Nautilus, so I was kind of hoping to see the engaged tanks come back in. Won't be the case. They just want straight lane pressure, straight poke.
Yeah, you've got lane pressure, you've got poke. Wiser on the Kennen. On the other side, like you said, a little more standard Envy. Still on the Ahri. Would love to see the Envy Vex come out at some point. Man, I missed that. If you were watching last year, you remember that quadra kill that Sheppy, the play-by-play caster for the Portuguese stream, lost his marbles on that call. To be fair, it was an unbelievable play. The paiN fans out in full force here for their matchup against Red. Like we said, 2 3-1 teams to start the day off in CBLOL Week 3, Day 1.
One of them's gonna fall, and you know what? The top of the table is about to get a lot narrower. Now, 4-4, we know Red want the late game team fights. We know that paiN, they want more early game team fights. That the early spike with that Kennen, especially in the mid game team fights, can do a lot. Your Lucian spikes early. But I want to talk a little bit about B-Voy's Lucian specifically, because the last split, B-Voy in the finals against Loud played the Lucian. I believe it was game 1, lost on it, and flat out said, you know what, I don't think I can play this champion. Maybe I don't know how to play Lucian anymore. And for an AD carry at this level, that is a shocking admission. It shows how much his mental crumbled in that particular game. And now, this will be the first time we see it in Split 2. 4-4, I've got massive questions. Has B-Voy regained his confidence and his skill in the champion?
Well, we're about to find out, and they have a tough opponent in front of them. But for either of these teams, look, it's funny. We were talking about, like, you said it. Red, or paiN rather, they have been extremely consistent. Now, it has not resulted in any titles. They still have only 3 titles with the most finals appearances. But I was having a conversation last night with my significant other, and she said, look, who do you trust the most? She said, because I told her how, you know, how crazy the top of the table is. Oh, we've got, you know, INTZ, Furia, they're overperforming, or, you know, some people think they're overperforming. It's 3-1, Red, paiN, blah, blah, blah. And she was, who do you think's going to win? Who's going to win the whole split? And I was like, how dare you throw that on me? I don't know. But I said, the team I trust the most right now is paiN. Weirdly enough, because just the rest of the teams have been wrought with inconsistency.
Yeah, and it's early in the season, yet we're only in week 3. This is only round 5, so some inconsistency is to be expected. And this was why I said earlier that paiN feels like the team to beat, because they came into this with minimal changes, only Pro Delta being switched up from damage. And you can see that the team still has that synergy. Pro Delta was playing 6th man on the roster back in Split 1. The entire time he was there with the team. He was in comms, he was in all the meetings, he was in all the scrims. So paiN, they're shown that consistency thus far, and I'm with you 4-4, not just because I'm a paiN fan, but I just think that paiN right now is showing that they are incredibly consistent, and Red haven't shown me that. Can Red beat paiN? Yes. But do I think they're going to beat paiN? Well, that's at best a 50-50.
Either way, I'm unbelievably excited to get this one started again. Dinketo on the Jace here. Oh, immediately going in here. We've got a little bit of trades back and forth. Frosty and Titan again on this Xayah Rakan combo. This is Titan's first game this split, not on an Aphelios.
Yeah, we've seen him on the Xayah before, though. We know what he can do. The question is just now, what happens in lane? Because Aphelios, I think of as a rather lane-dominant AD carry, especially with the Gravitum gun. He can really chase down people with Caliber. He's got really good poke.
Yep.
Xayah doesn't have that. And in the Xayah Rakan lane relies more on, first of all, the passive synergy. Of course, they get the additional damage, but also more on Rakan. So it's more on Frosty right now to land the all-in. If he all-ins, they actually win quite a few of those trades. But if they don't, well, we saw what happened there. He missed it, and Pro Delta and B-Boy are just more than happy to trade back that play damage.
And he opted into the Ignite. B-Boy opted into the Cleanse. Pro Delta into the Heal, right? They are trying to just survive this. So they know that, you know, if Frosty does land that Grand Entrance, that Battle Dance, then things could get very, very hairy. Age is standing on a ward right now. It's him against Karaoke in the jungle matchup. Wukong versus Sejuani. Age is just going to show here. Dinketo, yeah, he knew something was fishy here. Just going to let that wave crash back. And he does land the charm, though. And the Electrocute goes off for a lot of damage. Dinketo trying to get in range for something, but no dice.
And I love what Aegis is doing here, because the champ learned it, because the poke stuck. Aegis is looking for the regank, and Dinketo has to be aware of this. Does have flash available, but the charm lands again.
Man, and the flash to secure it. First blood for Aegis. Saw it coming a mile away, but Aegis gets red on the board.
Kill, secure, or kill, steal 4x4, because I think Envy had that one all tied up, and Aegis flash.
So.
Fair enough. You know, yeah, Aegis we'll call it a secure. Yeah, first blood. And you know what? It's not bad to give your jungler first blood, especially somebody like Aegis who has so much impact around the map. And that was my concern with Tinkedo, you know, stepping back up a little bit, you know, feels disrespectful with that particular play. A little bit overconfident when he already got charmed. Now, Karaoke, though, because with TP back in, there is that mana advantage, the pressure advantage. Karaoke is feeling comfortable to go invading.
Yeah, Aegis might have gotten the kill, but Karaoke is a level up. These levels matter a lot early on, and Aegis, right with that gold, didn't pick up another item or anything. Karaoke just gonna Arctic Assault over the wall, but here comes FNB, flashing in! You're flashing away, excuse me, is Karaoke. FNB not able to find it, and we talked about that, RMC. These top laners, can they move? In a post-ward teleport world, you have to get a lot more creative with your impact in the early game.
True, and do you want to? Right, for the other question as well, because FNB moving down there, you're seeing a CS differential on that top lane. Partially because of that move, FNB was already a little bit behind in lane, so paiN, at the end of the day, trade first blood for taking away buff and slowing Aegis down. Now, we did see Karaoke, he took the thing, and he's going down bot lane, looking, he has no flash though.
Yeah, Frosty just going to land the Q there, get a little bit of a heal onto Titan. Titan has no mana. He has to use the W defensively. Does Frosty? The bubble doesn't land. The exhaust down. First blood, or first kill of the game, excuse me, over to B-Boy.
Titan expending both flash and exhaust as well. And for I was worried that Sejuani wouldn't be able to close the gap on as mobile a champion as Rakan without that flash. But Karaoke's like, nah, I'm just going to walk at you. And what you're going to do, knew exactly what he could take. And if anything, I think Frosty probably should have just opted to take the extra auto and die there. Because now Titan's going to be a little bit behind. Going to miss about half a wave on that. And when B-Boy and Pro Delta get back to lane, they are going to look scarier than ever.
Yeah, they got that Noon Quiver, right? The kill went over to B-Boy. Very importantly, if there's a jungler you want to give a kill to, it's probably Aegis on the Wukong, Karaoke on the Sejuani. Not necessarily the case. Dinketo, seeing Frosty, spotted him over a ward, starts furiously pinging. No dragon secured with any sort of advantage on that side, however. But like you said, when B-Boy and Pro Delta get back to lane, they are significantly ahead. I mean, just look at the item disparities here. Oh, Frosty a little far forward. Envy with a cautionary charm. Damage coming out from Pro Delta. B-Boy landing things from the blue buff. Karaoke not done just yet, wanting to give chase. He is thick. He's got that Omni Cinder. All that extra health and taking damage. And nothing else will happen.
Yeah, I mean, for paiN Gaming, they had the numbers advantage. They had the level. They knew Titan was still farming bot side. So, if anything, I'm actually surprised they didn't go harder on that. And for Red, the idea there is just, we are stalling you out. We've got mobility on this Rakan. Frosty still has flashed and burn it in the bot side gank. We've got an Ahri mid. We are just going to hold B-Boy as long as we can so that Titan can catch back up in farm. And hey, Red did their job. Game is still dead even. And 4-4. A minute and a half after Dragon has spawned, neither team has been able to really look at that objective.
Yeah, and that's been, I guess, a little surprising, right? But the engages and even the kills were a little piecemeal, right? You thought, if anything, paiN would have been able to leverage that into something, but B-Boy and Pro Delta opted to take the reset. Didn't feel confident enough in their ability to help out Karaoke. Not level 6 just yet, but that doesn't matter. Arctic Assault's in. You know who is level 6 is Envy. Not going to get enough stacks of the Permafrost on him. But doesn't have to burn that Spirit Rush or anything. In fact, we'll hit level 7 off this. Really good lane so far for Envy. FNB going all out here. Wiser does have the Slicing Maelstrom. Going to use it defensively. 1, 2, 3 ticks of it. Flashing away. Flashing right in. Envy goes. Wiser able to pick up the kill onto FNB.
Aegis though? Aegis not level 6 yet. Doesn't have Cyclone. This feels like he's playing with fire a little bit.
Yep, and I think he recognizes that. Just going to take the obligatory tower shot and get on out of dodge. Going to get something out of it in the form of those jungle camps, but that's it. And now with that pressure, knowing that Aegis is on the top side, Karaoke going to start up that dragon.
Yeah, finally, they get to look at that objective, and 4x4, these top laners. We talked about the fact that Wiser and FNB are great at being able to apply pressure elsewhere, but Pro Delta, is he already dead here?
Oh man, the Jade CC was gorgeous, man. If Frosty was level 6, was able to layer that with the quickness, B-Boy was a dead dub.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go for Pro Delta. My bad, they went for B-Boy. They had their priority straight, and B-Boy barely able to get out. The heal from Pro Delta, I can't tell if that's up or not, because...
yeah, I think it is up, which is a little damning. Well, actually, no, yeah, you know, it's tough to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like Pro Delta holding his nerve. No heal even expended on that. They're just like, okay, flash is all that's required from B-Boy. And
no,
the reason
I think
highlight,
it's down, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to highlight that as well, because I do think bot lane's about to get real spicy since level 6s are being hit. And so those combat summoners are going to be very, very valuable. If the heal is up for Pro Delta, cleanse is up for B-Boy, get ready to see some action if they even go back down, because B-Boy and Pro Delta, they've actually started rotating mid already.
Yeah, they're going right towards that river. Yeah, not entirely sure why. Maybe just Pro Delta trying to reestablish vision in the river, and he needs a butt in B-Boy, who is the most fed member on the map right now. But Titan has caught up, kind of to loop back to something you were saying beforehand, RMC, even though he was down that kill, obviously, he's up in CS. So whatever that stalling was that Red did in the early game a couple minutes ago has paid off. Right now, still a very, very close game. Red responded with the Herald up on the top side while Karaoke was finishing up that dragon. So both sides have a little bit in their pocket, and Infernal Drake gonna make those trades just a little bit better for paiN.
They're just now sneaking up in the top lane. Slicing Maelstrom is available, but no flash for Wiseman.
Flash for Aegis though, and he goes right in. Slicing Maelstrom comes right off cooldown, right on time, but it is not enough. 2 versus 1 FNB on the board.
Multiple ultimates used by Red to make that happen there. A lot committed, but you saw that CC chain, and it was beautiful. Wiser had no chance to even respond. Now, what can paiN do? Kiddo just running down Envy.
Says, all right, buddy, anything you can do, I can do better. I was going to comment on, man, Envy just with the Lost Chapter, and I got to be fair, a couple of rings and an amp tome, able to do so much, and Jinkedo just gave it right back, using that lethality to just pound away on Envy. Oh, baby, Karaoke goes immediately in. He does have the Arctic Assault. Charmin flashes over. Oh, the predict! Karaoke! What was that? That was unbelievable!
That was so well played from paiN, and Jinkedo was the one who baited out the Spirit Rush initially with that turnaround, with that trade, and I love the communications. This is why paiN looks good when they play as a team. The moment Spirit Rush was down, they just went for it, and Karaoke read the flash like a book. They knew exactly what they had to do. As much as I love that though, 4x4, there's not much else to pick up after that. Objectives are still down, and even though Jinkedo, is able to find the kill, I want to highlight that Jinkedo is still losing this lane. Envy has been on point with the charms, and Jinkedo is still down serious.
Down in the CS, he does have that kill, but he is down that 15 CS, so it's going to be who gets to that Mythic first. But let's take a look at this again. I don't think Envy saw Karaoke, right? So still confident in the trade he can take. Karaoke, Arctic Assault right over the wall. That's just an angle that can be used so well by junglers.
Yeah, and you can see the confidence as well to go that. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. So Karaoke perfectly predicted the flash. And sure, if he misses, it looks bad, but the knockup would still have landed anyway. So Karaoke just guaranteed. Oh, the fact that he had no vision in the bush makes it look even better, man.
Oh my goodness! If this was traditional sports, you say, oh, you're going to see that on SportsCenter for a long, long time. But I think we hold some sort of responsibility to get that clip popping off on Twitter. That was crazy. Yeah, he's flashing in and knew that it would just kind of spook Envy into flashing over the wall. Timed it perfectly. Shout out to the observers and the camera people down there at the CBLOL arena for getting Karaoke's POV on that. Awesome.
Yeah, and you know what, Karaoke deserves it. I think he's gotten a lot of flack for paiN's performances because he's the one player who is here from that 2021 roster since, heck, they last won CBLOL back in 2021 S1. So a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and you heard him on Tropas Liberadas as well, where he was saying that his performance this far, he's only rating it a 5 out of 10. Like, it's not been great. It's been very, very average, and he wants to elevate that. He knows his tools to elevate that, and that's what it looks like when he's playing well.
Karaoke, I mean, he's got the Glacial Prison back off cooldown, and he's just using that so well. I think Sejuani, she's a bit of a maligned champion. I know some people on our broadcast team really do not like that champion. I am a fan of it. You've got so many tools. You are made of CC, but you have to be effective. You have to be a proactive, cerebral jungler, and that's what you call Karaoke. Sure. Cerebral. He's being very efficient with his time here. He's up 12 CS. Almost 100% kill participation. He's made an impact all over the map. He's been phenomenal this game on the Sejuani.
But when the chips are down 4x4, it's his hands that matter. And right now with the teams gearing up for this Drake, TP being called in, almost all of Red have arrived here.
Now here comes FNB. Envy looking for a flank, trying to get that charm onto Jinkedo, but he's got a wave to catch. Maybe they want to fight in this pinch point. Either way, they're going to start up the dragon.
TP TP from Wiser. The big CC combo is available.
And Wiser has that all-important item, the Static Shiv. 13-12's greatest NB going in. Charm down, Tidal Wave, and pulling over the top there, getting mowed down. Karaoke goes down, but now with them softened up, Wiser going in, but there's no follow-up on him. You can survive the slicing Maelstrom. You might be able to take him down. Titan able to throw out some damage, but it's just one kill that has gone over the engage. Not coordinated from paiN.
A little bit slow and split from paiN, and most importantly, Karaoke's down. Titan.
Ooh, Titan so close. B-Boy has to flash away, holds on to the cleanse though. Titan is out of this fight for the time being.
Yeah, and for paiN Gaming, the critical thing was that they lost Karaoke, of all people. He soaked up so much time, so much death, but once he went down, no smite. So even though paiN kind of won the fight, they didn't get the kill, but they chased off Red. They weren't able to turn and look at the Dragon. And now that they've blown the big CC ultimates, now that Sejuani, Ken, and Nami ultimate are all down, paiN can't look to really contest that Drake again. That was their big shot, their big opportunity. They blew it. Now, just go and farm out the lanes. We saw Dinkato TP top as well, recognizing that.
Yep, he knows that for all intents and purposes, this one is over. So the Dragons will be tied up 1-1. Yeah, this has been a good one so far, RMC. It feels like it's been on a knife's edge in many respects. You see the turret plating gold coming up on the bottom of your screen. 4-2, 700 to 350 in the favor of Red. And they mop up that Hextech Dragon. It will be an Ocean Soul to play for in about 10 minutes at the minute.
And for both of these teams, they've only got one Dragon apiece, so they're not going to be in a huge rush to be stacking those Drakes as we go along. And for paiN Gaming, we talked about the fact that their composition spikes in the mid game. That's when, you know, your Lucian's fully online. Jace 2-item spike, especially if he's going Mirror Mana, that's when he's strongest. And for Wiser as well, interestingly, we didn't see that Hextech Protobell, which is often what we see with team fighting cannons. We saw the Static Shiv, which we knew we were going to see Static Shivs. Top lane was probably the lane we're least likely to see it. Well, it's the first one we see it in. So for paiN Gaming, they still have to take advantage of that 2-item power spike if they aren't ahead by then for everyone, and significantly ahead, not just 1,000 gold. Red are going to start coming online. We already saw how their comp is going to play around the big AoE buttons of